Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It's Tuesday, June 6th, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Here's what's on the news tonight.
Tonight, Jeff Sessions just found and arrested a deep state operative named Reality Winner for leaking classified information to the press. And it turns out she was radicalized by John Oliver, The Daily Show, and Stephen Colbert. Meanwhile, Michael Moore launches Trumpy Leaks, a secure website for whistleblowers against President Trump. And that makes it a perfect opportunity for InfoWarriors to flood the site with information about the murder of Seth Rich. All that plus a new Senate committee investigation into the crimes and corruption of crooked Hillary. All that plus much more up next on the InfoWars Nightly News.
Globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit InfowarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from Infowars Life.
Introducing Emmerich's Essentials Natural Herbal Shampoo. Made with organic oils for an exhilarating fragrance. Enjoy all-natural and chemical-free shampoo. No parabens or sulfates, nothing to weigh you down. Get cleaner, healthier hair with Emmerich's Essentials Tea Tree Shampoo.
And the big news story today was the NSA leaker being charged with espionage and under fire. Of course, her name is Reality Winner, if you can believe that. Reality Winner, the name of the alleged NSA hacker with these alleged documents on Russian hacking. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, as this thing has been developing throughout the day, I am beginning to trust this story less and less and less. And there's obviously some weird things going on about this. The biggest one would have to be the name Reality Winner. What are the odds of that? But the basic breakdown is that this NSA contractor, not really the same as Edward Snowden, but kind of in a similar vein, a contractor to the NSA, I guess with access somehow to these highly classified, very important documents. A low-level contractor gets these. Nonetheless, somehow she allegedly gets these documents, leaks these documents to The Intercept, which were originally, The Intercept at least, originally was a conduit for Snowden leaks. And then The Intercept publishes these leaks, but also tells the FBI, apparently, who the leaker was, and now Jeff Sessions is pursuing espionage charges, and it's the FBI that allegedly finger-pointed to Reality Lee Winter, 25-year-old of Augusta. Now, some people are saying that, look, they're saying Bernie supporter, said she would stand for Iran. I got another crazy tweet of hers that we'll mention, but saying she's a deep state operative. I would not go that far. I think that this girl was honestly either a patsy, this girl either fell for something, or she doesn't even really know or never even really knew what she was doing. In fact, maybe her heart was in the right place. Unfortunately, her mind was brainwashed. But nonetheless, I'm looking at this report, this leaked NSA document, and it has new allegations that these emails are being sent out called spear phishing emails, a lot like what happened to John Podesta. Now, it's interesting because they don't actually show you the emails that they're talking about. And you would think this document that they released is 5 pages. There you go. Thank you guys for pulling that up. They don't actually show any of the emails they're really talking about. So I'm still unclear of the emails that they're actually referring to. But they say that these emails were meant to attack people inside of voter rolls or who had access to voter technology equipment, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm still sitting here scratching my head because what they're claiming is that they go in and they have found that on these specific dates, these alleged Russian malware attempts were conducted against these people or against these entities that were involved in voter registration and voter rolls and perhaps even the voting technology to begin with or to end it, which, again, Soros is, but nobody has a problem with that. But I'm going through, and again, I'm reading all this. They don't talk about the emails. They really don't even explain how this impacted the election. I'm still confused at how this would even impact the election. All that I really understand, and again, I'm a layman when it comes to computer hacking and this stuff, but I still have common sense and understand technology enough to say, even if they're able to get into these people's computers or get access to their passwords or this, that, and the other thing, there's still nothing really here that indicates there was actually anything that changed in the election or that there were any actual votes changed. And if they do allege that there were votes changed, the only study that we have that could say there's evidence of that, I believe it came out of Michigan, and the votes actually went to Hillary. It was actually Trump that lost votes. If you remember that recount, they stopped that recount real quick because Hillary was actually losing votes. Of course, you have other stories about illegal voting in California, 5,000 illegal votes in Virginia. Those go on, and they don't get near as much publicity as this leak that Reality Winner magically leaked to The Intercept, and then The Intercept turns her into the FBI, and now she is under fire. And again, I'm skeptical of this entire thing to begin with. Could be a psyop. We're going to see how it develops. But the new development here is that WikiLeaks is now come out, Julian Assange to be specific, and, well, he's not happy about this. He's not happy that The Intercept would turn in the NSA leaker, Reality Winter. I guess he's standing up for that. And, of course, this is a guy who always stands true, Winner, sorry. This is a guy who always stands true to never revealing his sources. So he's very upset because now, thanks to this, and, you know, again, this could now, see, this is what you happen when you start to break this down. Perhaps Assange is now upset because he thinks this is an attack on WikiLeaks as well, where you have somebody leaking this document to The Intercept. The Intercept then turns them in, which, by the way, they're not telling us, or The Intercept is not turning in the name of this reporter. The FBI is not turning in the name of this reporter. I guess Reality Winner is not turning in the name of this reporter. She's already been to court. You think that she might have wanted to do that because this reporter you'd think could be held just as accountable as she could. And that's what Assange is saying. And then he's unhappy because he says this makes it harder to get sources. This creates an environment where people who may have access to certain emails or certain documents don't want to put them out there in the public, even though they feel they should, because they're scared for their own well-being and their own freedom. So there's another aspect that could be a psyop here, aside from just looking for anything to try to catch some legs with this Trump-Russia collusion. Also, another attempt to scare other potential leakers or sources to WikiLeaks or anywhere else. But Assange has taken it one step further now and has offered a $10,000 reward to get the Intercept reporter fired who turned over the name Reality Winner, the government contractor who leaked this NSA Russian document, or Russian hacking or Russian meddling, whatever you want to say, document to the Intercept, which again, I read the document. I read the 5 pages. Doesn't really make much sense to me. I've read other stuff that's similar that made more sense and created a clear picture. This one kind of seems like a bit of nonsense, to be honest with you, a bit of a plant, but we're going to see how that develops. But just an interesting, real quick note here on Reality Winner. Again, I'm thinking that she just didn't even realize what she was getting herself into here, and probably not only regrets what she did, but perhaps was just really fooled, greatly fooled. Perhaps not the sharpest tool in the shed. Again, a Bernie supporter, so what else needs to be said? But she had a tweet, and I find this funny. Excuse me while I have a little humor with you. She tweets out, or by the way, Sarah Winters, I guess was her Twitter account. She tweets out to Kanye West, "You should make a shirt that says being white is terrorism." Okay, so if being white is a terrorist, then Reality Winner is a terrorist. So there you go. She admits she's a terrorist right there on her own Twitter account. So I thought that we might just report on that. But here's the strange coincidence that actually was brought to me by Rob Dew and Darren McBreen. I missed this when I was actually doing my investigation into this earlier. That just shows you just how crazy the state of news is right now in this cycle. It's just impossible to keep up with everything. Michael Moore launches TrumpyLeaks website for leftist leakers. What convenient timing. Right as Reality Winner comes out with these leaks, Michael Moore is launching his TrumpyLeaks website for leftist leakers. Just a coincidence, though, I'm sure, that timing. And I wonder how this is going to go, especially now that Reality Winner is facing a espionage charge. But here's the thing. Rob Dude tweeted out, "I'm glad Michael Moore is going to help find out who killed Seth Rich. Please send all tips here, michaelmoore.com/TrumpyLeaks." So here's what we're going to do. Just like we co-opted whatever it was Shia LaBeouf's little thing was. What was Shia LaBeouf? He will not divide us. Thank you. He will not divide us. So just like we co-opted Shia LaBeouf's He Will Not Divide Us, let's co-opt TrumpyLeaks. So Trump supporters, 4chan, Reddit, all of you people out there on Politically Incorrect, let's help Michael Moore out. Let's send him some leaks on Seth Rich. Let's send him intel on Seth Rich. Let's send him intel on, how about the Clintons? How about some Clinton leaks? Apparently, Michael Moore didn't read the WikiLeaks, so maybe let's just forward some of those to TrumpyLeaks. In fact, that's a good one. Why don't we take all of the most powerful WikiLeaks, the succulent hot dogs, the children for your enjoyment, the I'll make example of the leakers, et cetera, down in Brazil, it goes on and on. Why don't we send those to TrumpyLeaks? Let's push those out to Michael Moore. Apparently, he hasn't read those yet. And yeah, that should be nice. And that is, folks, that is just the tip of the iceberg on the WikiLeaks that I just mentioned there. So let's co-opt Trump leaks just like we co-opt all of these other leftist nonsense movements. Send all our leaks. Send all the powerful leaks that actually have some legs, actually have some ground, and are actually changing the world to TrumpyLeaks. And then you know what'll happen? Michael Moore will shut down his little website just like Shia LaBeouf had to shut down his. Okay, so that's how we win in the culture war. So let's turn TrumpyLeaks into Clinton leaks, Seth Rich leaks, Sean Lucas leaks, Wizen Hunt leaks. Let's do that for Michael Moore there, just because he's never seen that information. Now, here's what's going on into the Clinton group right now. It's not looking good, folks. I don't know if the Clinton body count, or I don't know if the Clintons are going to be able to body count their way out of all of this investigation that's now going on, especially when Bill and Hillary both look like death warmed over. They don't have much left in them, folks. Senate committee launches first new Clinton corruption investigation. Now, this is an interesting one. This one is a little more different than what we've seen in the past. Senate Committee on the Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley has launched a new investigation of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's effort to thwart a Bangladesh government corruption probe of Mohammed Yunus, a Clinton Foundation donor and a close friend of the Clintons. So basically what you have here, undeniable on record, is the Clinton campaign working with Mohammed Yunus, millions and millions of dollars funneled between the Clinton campaign and Yunus's causes in Bangladesh. And then when what Yunus is doing in Bangladesh starts to get investigated, Clinton starts to work with, I guess, what is the IMF to try to thwart that investigation, specifically what was happening while she was in the State Department. Now, Grassley has the numbers, he has the dates, he has it all. And what he's basically saying is, why can't we get an investigation into this? If we can't have a fair investigation into this, then there is truly something wrong here. And Chuck Grassley is really onto something, folks. So we're going to keep this in mind and see how it develops, because Chuck Grassley is a very well-respected senator. And he's been in there for a long time. He's very well respected. And if he starts to raise red flags about this, perhaps others in there will start to listen. But that's not it. The Clintons got another lawsuit coming. The lawsuit that could sink the Clintons. Linda Ives says she can prove feds covered up her son's murder. Now, this is a very interesting story. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of vagaries here. And you would think it wouldn't be so vague, but this has been an ongoing thing. They've been delaying this case for a long time. Apparently, the next developments will be in November 2017. But this official lawsuit was actually filed in August of last year. There you can see it, folks. And there's actually no mention of the Clintons as far as the defendants here, even though she has tied Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton into this. And she's even reached out to the Rich family saying, don't be intimidated by controlled tactics to try to shut you up and trick you from investigating your son's murder. She's suing the CIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, DEA, FBI, the United States Attorney's Office, the Department of State, the state of Arkansas, Arkansas State Police, Bryant Police Department, and Saline County Sheriff's Office. She believes that all of them were acting in collusion to stop the investigation of her son, Kevin Ives' murder, which was actually years ago. Let me go back and check on the date of that. I think it was 30 years ago. Yeah, August 1987. The killers have never been brought to justice. And what she believes, or I guess the conspiracy theory surrounding this, is that her son happened to stumble upon a Bill Clinton or perhaps a Arkansas government or police run drug deal. And so they had to kill her son and then put him on a train tracks to be mutilated. The official story is that Kevin Ives got so high off marijuana that he passed out on train tracks and got ran over. So high on marijuana, couldn't hear an oncoming train horn coming right at him. That's the story they want you to believe. You know what, guys? Since we're running out of time, let's run Chelsea Clinton getting trolled here real quick to finish this segment. Go ahead and roll Chelsea Clinton at a book signing.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, because this book's for everyone, including women who have wanted to speak up but have been told to quiet down. Can you sign it for my friend Juanita Broderick, because she's been silenced by your parents, especially Bill Clinton, who's a rapist? Can you sign it for her?
Thank you for coming today.
Can you sign it?
Oh, she gets really blushy there and doesn't want to talk about Juanita Broderick. And I love the way the woman that asked the question referred to Bill Clinton as if it wasn't her father, because it's not her father, it's Webb Hubble. But there's Chelsea Clinton getting totally trolled, totally embarrassed. We're sick of the Clintons. We're calling you out. The people of America are rising up. We're not taking it anymore. And you can see it, folks. It's happening right now. Freedom is manifesting itself. We're taking power back. We'll be right back. Infowars Nightly News after these messages.
We've taken thousands of years of known research and put it together with our own 4 years of seeking and testing to find the very best systems that God gave us through Mother Nature to detoxify the body. That's why I'm introducing Z-Shield, toxic metal and chemical defense support. It's made in the USA. It's filled with known compounds from nature that are absolutely associated with detoxifying the body, and it supports the InfoWar. It is a classical 360 win. Our formula at InfoWarsLife.com is, quite frankly, simple. We go out and look at the recognized research, and we take it to the next level of quality, of purity, and of strength. Because this is what I personally use for myself and my family. We've gone through 5 or 6 different permutations in the last 4 years since we launched Infowars Live to actually come up with this. This is the formula that I personally have been taking for over a year, and now we believe we have come as close to perfection when it comes to a detoxifier as you can possibly get. If you're not mitigating the pesticides, the heavy metals, the chemicals, if you're not trying to purify your water, if you're not trying to take products like Z-Shield that are full of known concentrated compounds that'll purify our cells and our bodies, you're crazy. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, and you owe it to the future of this country and the world that patriots stay as healthy and as clean and as focused as you can be, because we need you, the remnant of America, to reignite those brush fires to the next level and to be healthy and as focused as you can be. Because if you're sick, if you're over there on the sidelines and not in the fight, you're basically giving in to the New World Order. Thanks to your support and your prayers, together, we're changing the world. Now it's time to change our bodies with Z-Shield at InfoWarsLive.com.
I want to tell you about some of the products at InfoWarsStore.com. We are under constant attack. You know it by now from the mainstream media. They're trying to attack us on every level. Now with the YouTube scandal, they're demonetizing our channels, which again takes a huge chunk out of our income, which is why we always appreciate and rely on you getting the products, because that's how we stay afloat. They can't get to us that way. They can't pressure you to not buy the products. They don't have that power. And that's why you're the key to this entire operation. We have Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste. Bubblegum flavor just arrived at InfoWarsStore.com. This is by listener request. Bubblegum flavored Super Blue toothpaste now available at InfoWarsStore.com in limited supply. Again, if you're not using fluoride-free toothpaste by now, you're absolutely insane. Harvard studies, it reduces IQ, it causes bone cancer. It's not great, let's just put it that way. And I've been using it for about, 15 years now? So you're going to buy it anyway. Why not buy it from us? It's in limited supply, but it is available at InfoWarsStore.com with the new bubblegum flavor. Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, and it supports this network, which is under constant demonization and attack, because we don't take big fat checks from George Soros. We don't get put on extremist lists, even though they want us to. That's how they're taking away the YouTube money. That's why we need your support more than ever, because we're not funded by giant corporations who are now pulling the plug on YouTube as they move it into a TV thing, a Netflix model, to drown out independent voices. So support us by getting the products at InfoWarsStore.com.
Well, how do you like this? In the face of liberals and liberal media freaking out about Donald Trump tweeting, they don't get the monopoly of information over there. With the upcoming Comey testimony on Thursday, Donald Trump may be live tweeting it. How about them apples? According to a source with Real Clear Politics, Robert Costas says President Trump may be live tweeting the Comey testimony. I say, heck yeah. First ever presidential live tweet, apparently right around the corner. That is the day and age that we live in, whether we like it or not. Now, let's go to this video of Maxine Waters. And I'm actually going to, let's just play this video of Maxine Waters. And, she's nuts, folks. Go ahead and play it.
Can you imagine a president that disrespects all of our allies in the world?
There she is yelling again about Trump.
Respect for other ethnic groups and cultures, who turns his back on allies that we've worked with for years because he
literally just went on a foreign trip for like 10 days, showing appreciation for other cultures. This woman is so much. Look at her. This people actually has followers, too. Now, this is a Young Turks reporter. Well, listen to this.
I looked at your tweets, and around 60% had to do with this Russia issue.
Yes.
Do you think that's a proportionate focus for Democrats? Should it be overwhelmingly on this Russia matter?
Well, no, and this is it. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. And for people who say, you know, don't do this, you just
like
should
you?
do that. Let me just say that I consider that protection of our democracy and understanding that Russia is not our friend and that they are undermining our democracy by
Is it Russia that undermines your district? Is that Russia that made your district poor, or you for 35 years?
As they have done, who should be president of the United States?
Who should be
And that's
representing your
very
district?
important. At the same time, we fight very hard for health care. We're trying to preserve the
Just like you fight for the health care of the poor and homeless people in your district?
That's going to throw 34 million people out
For 35
of
years, right?
healthcare. And so we know how to do both, and we're doing that.
You know
When
how
you
to
say
do that.
Russia's not our friend, was Obama mistaken to forge military cooperation with Russia in Syria and to try to get a START treaty?
Look, you and I have a different agenda, young man. I'm out to impeach this president. Get that straight. I'm out to impeach the president. I'm not going to be diverted by people who are Obama haters.
Do you think?
All right, so cut it there. That's fine. So that's a Young Turks reporter being called an Obama hater by Maxine Waters. So she obviously doesn't know much about the Young Turks. And then the Young Turks reporter is shocked at the end of it, like, oh my gosh, why did I trigger Maxine Waters? Bro, do you realize what side you're on? You're on the side of the snowflakes. You're on the side of the people that have no information, or they follow Maxine Waters and her James Brown wig that covers up her chrome dome that doesn't have a brain in it. Or maybe a brain the size of a peanut. I don't know. But there's Maxine Waters freaking out when I have to give the Young Turks reporter credit. Wow, for the first time in my life, I will sit here and perhaps even give the Young Turks credit. That reporter, he asks a fair question of Maxine Waters about Barack Obama, shows her double standard, and then she freaks out and runs away. Maybe that guy just got a bit of a red pill right there for Maxine Waters about the people that he's siding with. They can't handle the truth, folks. Maxine Waters literally runs away from the truth. So that just goes to show you that. Now, let's get into the truth about some of these terror attacks. And we're going to roll a video here just real quick, guys. If you just want to have that video rolling while we talk about these terror attacks, just to highlight the religion of peace, just to get things moving about the religion of peace. Notre Dame Cathedral shooting, first picture of suspect who shouted, "This is for Syria," before attacking police with a hammer. That's right, an ISIL supporter attacks police officers with a hammer. And of course, you've got police officers in Britain that aren't even armed with a weapon. So imagine if that happened to them. I hope they have good training. The terror trio, London Bridge attacker named as Yusuf Zagba, 22, was flagged to British authorities last year after being arrested en route to Syria. So this is a guy who's been traveling back and forth to Syria, who's previously arrested, gets released, and then kills people. Way to go, government, trying to stop terror. Hostage taker in Australia had been acquitted of terror plot. That's right, folks. The hostage taker that you saw in Australia, that terrorist, he was also known by the government, and he was also let go. How do you like that? Now you've got Linda Sarsour raising $80,000 for anti-Muslim hate crime that didn't happen. Fake news, folks. Linda Sarsour gets $80,000 for fake news. There ought to be a lawsuit there. That's ridiculous. And then you've got the coward mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, no longer wants to talk to Donald Trump, cancels his visit. What a coward and a failure Sadiq Khan is. Here's John Bound with more.
London's Thames River, headquarters of the MI5, an elite security service under the authority of the Home Secretary, directed by the Joint Intelligence Committee for Intelligence Operational Priorities, an organization joined at the hip with the NSA, similarly, secretly collecting bulk telephone records on individuals that pose no threat to Great Britain's national security since September 11th, 2001. This monstrosity allowed the scum responsible for the murder and maiming of innocents to operate freely as potential terrorists up until the attack. Karam Shahzad Butt, Rashid Radwan, and Moroccan-born Youssef Zagba cowardly attacked women during the rampage in the heart of London. Butt was known to police and MI5 and had posed with an ISIS flag in the documentary The Jihadis Next Door. Karam Butt, however, according to The Telegraph, worked for a man accused of helping to train the July 7th bombing ringleader and who was under investigation by police and MI5. According to the paper, Butt worked as an attendant to an all-Muslim gym in East London run by Sajil Shahid, a member of Anjem Chowdhury's network, who allegedly helped to set up weapons training in Pakistan for the 7/7 bombers. While Zagba, as The Guardian reports, in March 2016, when Zagba first tried to get to Syria, he was challenged by officials after he became agitated as he approached the check-in desk at Italy's Bologna airport. He told them, "I'm going to be a terrorist." According to reports in the Italian press citing security sources, his passport and phone were impounded. Propaganda videos and religious sermons found on the phone appeared to confirm his intent to join ISIS. This is the left's tolerance in action. And with all of the estimated 422,000 CCTV cameras surveilling London, 5 of the victims missing in the aftermath of the London terror attack are still missing. Meanwhile, back in the United States, the thing that wouldn't leave has a message for its dwindling sheeple base and the ongoing Islamification of the West.
Hillary. Way to stop terrorism is to understand other cultures and their food. Here it is.
This is a time for us to reach out to the world, to understand more about what is happening, not just in our own country, but indeed across the globe. It's a time for steady, determined leadership, like we are seeing from local authorities in London, including the mayor of London. And it is a time to remember how important our alliances are. You heard from Victor, you heard from Maya, you heard from the congressman. Getting to know one another, learning about the experiences, the lives, the cultures, the religions, the food.
I think we should actually import Somali pirates to, say, Galveston Bay and just let them rob and murder and kill there, too, because that's their culture, and all cultures are equal. I think we should get in a time machine, bring back the Aztecs, and just let them set up in our neighborhoods, grab our kids out of backyards, and chop their hearts out. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, but that's how crazy this is. The Nazis were an evil culture. We don't need to accept it. The Aztecs were an evil culture by the time they collapsed.
Sorry, Hillary. There's a reason your own party is calling for you to please shut up. Because enough Americans aren't sheep. They are sheepdogs. And they aren't going to run, hide, and tell like the poor defenseless Brits who are being told to do just that by the authorities.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel here for anyone. So when people get desperate like that, which is why I keep saying it's like they're forcing people down that path.
The Second Amendment is alive and well, and Americans will be telling the terrorists to run and hide in a hail of bullets. John Bound for Infowars.com.
Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. Infowars Live Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by Infowars Live is an easy way to naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to secure your canister. We have worked for years with our chemists and scientists to create the most powerful and affordable, great-tasting multivitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month's supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of InfoWars Life, we've brought out a lot of amazing products like Survival Shield X2, Super Male Vitality, and so many others. With its unique delivery system and proprietary manufacturing process designed for maximized effects, this formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're fighting the tip of the spear in the info war. That's InfoWarsLife.com and Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Take action now before we sell out. We have the new product at InfoWarsLife.com, BioTrue Selenium.
We've had so many requests over the years for selenium, and just recently, we were able to source a certified organic, bioavailable selenium from mustard seed extract. When you take selenium in the body, it actually benefits the detoxification systems in your body. It helps balance the thyroid gland. It helps detoxify.
Selenium is another one of those absolute must-haves.
The highest concentration of selenium is in the thyroid gland, but it's actually used all over the body. As a matter of fact, there's 25 genes in the body that are directly dependent upon selenium. So it really is a all-around nutrient that everybody really needs.
I'm taking it now every day. This is so key. BioTrue Selenium is the product, the best selenium that we could bring you. We believe it's the best out there at a very, very low price. Exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. We're selling a product, DNA Force, that is the very best nutraceutical that we can produce. Dr. Group, you took years for you to develop DNA Force for us.
It's been something that I've been working on for a long time, Alex, because I think it's very, very important. What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
We chose the PQQ because it has over 175 different clinical trials. It's one of the most effective substances in the world. It works like an antioxidant. It works to repair nerve growth factor.
So this is a formula to deliver the maximum amount. It's in powder form.
We have so many 5-star reviews. I take this. This is the product that I'd take.
InfoWarsLife.com, and the profit we make. We fight the globals. We fight the New World Order. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Well, I've got it all figured out, folks. I've got it all figured out just by reading this story. This is actually pretty unbelievable, pretty despicable that this is where our culture is currently at. We're about to be joined by Omar Navarro. Before we go to him, though, I just wanted to cover this ridiculousness. Transgender freshman sprinter, born a male, how racist even say that, or sexist even, wins 2 girls' state championships. Now, as you can see from the picture here, that is a man, okay? Claims to be a female and has now, I guess, had transgender surgery. I mean, I don't even know if that's the class. Do they even make them do that? Do they even make them chop it off before they can compete with the girls? I don't know the exact rules of that, but this is a 15-year-old, a freshman, who's born a male. How are you having transgender surgery before the age of, 18 at least? I mean, this is ridiculous. Folks should be scratching their heads wondering what the hell is going on. So then, yeah, oh, wow, shocking. Shocking. A 15-year-old male that's clearly been through puberty sets a state record competing against girls. Shocking. But you know what, Andrea, you know what she said? She says that it's the coach. It's the coaching. It's the coaching, folks. Yes, it's the coaching. Yes, and if I would have competed as a girl in high school, too, and won state championships, it would have been the coaching, wouldn't it have been? In fact, if I was to just identify, yeah, that's a female. Yeah, sure, that's a female. Keep telling yourselves that. I'm just going to identify, in fact, I'm going to identify as a 15-year-old. I won't even do the female thing. I'll just identify as a 15-year-old male, and I'll go race against freshman track athletes. How about that? Well, I identify as, in fact, how about I'm 8? How about I'm in 8th grade instead? And I want to run. So it's just ridiculous. This transgender thing is absurd. Just give them, if we're really going to do this to our youth, if we're really going to do this to our culture, if we're really going to introduce more sexes that don't actually exist on the biological, on the gender scale, let's just put them all in their own class so that we're not rewriting all the record books. This is, you know, people are more upset with baseball invading steroids, which actually was still a level playing field. You know, they were all practically using it. All of them pretty much could have used it. Still a level playing field. All the records got broken, messed up, but we had a huge ordeal about that. But the transgender athletes that are sickening the minds of our youth, rewriting those records that are actually fun and innocent and a good thing for the youth to have, nope, we're not going to raise an eyebrow about that. No big deal. In fact, we're going to cheer it on. Nothing to see here. So that's nice that males can now compete as females and break all the records. That's just normal, though, now, I guess, in the New World Order. Now, let's go to my guest, Omar Navarro. Now, I was watching this video where a town hall event held by Nanette Berrigan was getting out of hand, and it got invaded by Trump supporters. I'm watching the video, and then what do you know? There I see Omar in the thick of things with his camera out. So I wanted to get Omar on to tell me about this. Now, this is actually unbelievable what happened here, Omar. You've got a representative of California who's standing up for illegal citizens.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I was there. I was there to represent every legal American that is out there. I'm there to ask them the real questions, the hard questions. Of course, you know, a lot of these people don't want to go in debates with people. So the best way of actually confronting them is by going to the town halls, by asking the questions. If you're not asking the questions, you're not going to have any sense of awareness of who they are as individuals. We have to make sure we're holding these politicians accountable. If we're not holding them accountable, then what are we doing?
Well, she's here having this event. She wanted to do it in secret, and you took to the streets. You got your camera out. We were just showing your video on Periscope. There were a lot of other Trump supporters out there that joined you, and you said, hey, look, we're having an America First policy. How can a representative try to have a secret meeting and then try to tell non-citizens, people who are here illegally, how to beat the system? This is unbelievable. And so you guys showed up, you called her out, and she ran away.
Yeah, I mean, the intense part is when she took off from the thing, she said, you know what, I don't have to talk to you guys anymore. So she started barging out of the room, taking off to another room. But we found out that they were going to a different room, and they were letting their cronies inside, the people that were going to ask them the questions that were spoon-fed to them. And they didn't want to have people that were actually going to ask true questions. I mean, they were just, this is communism. This is communism, fascism at its finest. They're censoring free speech. This is a town hall. It should be open to all citizens, all taxpayers. This is not open. This is not open. This is a closed meeting. They went and locked us all out. People were saying, let us in, let us in. And they weren't letting people in.
I couldn't believe it when I was watching this. Again, you had these Trump supporters showing up, clearly en masse, too. Clearly, they're the ones that need to be represented here. They're the actual people. They're the actual constituents, not the non-citizens. And she runs away. You guys are chanting Trump. Like I said, when I saw you sitting there, I was like, yes, Omar getting in there. But it's really unbelievable that you would have a representative who would try to undermine the actual constituents, who would actually undermine American citizens. And it was amazing what you just said. She, and I don't know what her exact quote was, but she basically said, when you guys showed up to the meeting, we don't have to listen to you. Isn't that the mindset of these people? How can she get away with saying something like that?
Well, this is the issue with that. They think they can get away with what they're saying because they don't have people who are actually challenging them. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're going all over California. We're challenging the status quo. These Democrats have destroyed the state of California, have gotten away with so much for so long. It's time for us to really hold them accountable, make sure that we're putting pressure on them they're feeling the pressure, they're feeling the heat. I mean, we are going out, we are involved, we are active, we are engaging in the community. You know, my district is right next door. I'm running against Maxine Waters in the 43rd Congressional District. The 44th Congressional District is right next door. I want to make sure that I'm holding these politicians that are around me accountable too. I can't just have one side. You know, we need to have a consensus on other districts too, also in the state of California. So we have to make sure that we are holding them accountable, making sure that they are doing their jobs and they are representing the interests of all Americans and not just illegals. You know, because we need to make sure that we're putting our focus on Americans first.
And I love seeing what's going on out there on the left coast with people getting active. It's also starting to happen on the East Coast. I'll be talking with Dr. Shiva tomorrow, running against Elizabeth Warren on the Alex Jones Show. Obviously, Omar is running against Maxine Waters. And you said it, we're putting heat on them. Finally, it's time for them to stop feeling comfortable. This woman should not feel comfortable holding this meeting, trying to skirt the law, trying to bring in illegal people, really to win votes at the end of the day. That's really why they do this, because they don't believe that they can win in an actual election that is based on policy and integrity. So they try to cheat by bringing in these non-citizens, getting them to vote. That's what the Democrats have been doing for at least 20, 30 years now. But I want to switch gears to another topic real quick. Well, Omar, it looks like you finally made it. The left is finally freaking out about your candidacy. You're on David Brock's hit list now, and they've put out a piece on Media Matters. You're such a bad guy. How dare you run against Maxine Waters, who hasn't been to her district in days?
Days. In 35 years, Maxine Waters has missed 90% of the meetings in Congress. 90% of the meetings in Congress in over 35 years. I mean, for me, that's embarrassing. As embarrassing as a representative. You know, you should be doing your job. You should be serving the people in your community. There are gangbangers killing kids. There's trash in the floor. There's a lot of things that are not being done in our district that she's just leaving behind. We have to make sure that we're representing the interests of Americans in our communities. We're not representing our communities right now with Maxine Waters in office. Of course, you know, she's trying to impeach the president every single time. I spoke at an event just recently. I said, instead of saying impeach 45, you say support 45, because that's what we have to do in order to get the job done and represent our districts and better our community. We have to do that. If we're not doing that, then we're just going to fall by the wayside, and we're just going to continue to fall apart here in the state of California.
Omar Navarro, folks, he's running against Maxine Waters, trying to drain the swamp, a candidate that actually cares about his constituents, a candidate that's on the ground, actually in the muck of it, in the swamp, trying to get the truth out about the corrupt candidates in his area. Thank you, Omar, for joining us. You know, it's honestly amazing, folks, when I was watching this video, just the notion that a representative would try to get away with the secret meeting for non-citizens, and then the separate notion that we have a candidate who would get right in their face with a camera and confront that disingenuous policy against the American people. This is the movement. This is how we make America great again. David Knight on the other side.
Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine, or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research, and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7,000 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities and is tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens.
do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Also consult your physician, because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician, because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You've got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com, or call toll free. We can answer your questions, 888-253-3139.
Today we had news that a low-level contractor with top secret clearance, somebody in their mid-20s, Reality Winner, has released some documents showing that Russians tried a spear phishing attack. In other words, it was a phishing attack that was directly targeted at an organization to try to get into the election system. Now, this is something that's very different. The Democrats have denied all along, as well as the surveillance state, that there was any attempt to change vote totals or to mess with the election itself. No, what they said was they hacked the election by releasing information that was true about Hillary Clinton that cost her the election. Now they're starting to change this. And we've got a couple of high-ranking Democrats, top-ranking Democrat on the Senate Homeland Security Committee, saying this is proof of Russian hacking. Is it? I think there's something altogether different with this. I'm going to go over a timeline here for you, because I think this is a Department of Homeland Security surveillance state false flag, quite frankly, to justify the federal takeover of state elections or to hide their crimes. Do you remember December 8th, 2016, we had the Wall Street Journal and many others reporting that Homeland Security had attempted to hack into the Georgia voter registration database. This was a third-party security firm that was working for the state of Georgia. They detected it, they stopped it, and then they backtracked the IP address to the Department of Homeland Security. That got a lot of people interested. That was December the 8th. By January 12th, we had a couple of congressmen, Congressman Chaffetz as well as Heiss, write a letter to Homeland Security. They were not happy with the responses that they had gotten from Secretary Jay Johnson. And they said, we request that you investigate Secretary Kemp, he's the Secretary of State in Georgia, that you investigate Secretary Kemp's allegations that the Department of Homeland Security conducted unauthorized scans of his office's computer network. We also question the Department of Homeland Security's ability to remain neutral in investigating its own potential misconduct. And we think an independent investigation of these incidents is warranted. They also demanded to know these issues. They wanted to know whether or not Homeland Security had conducted the unauthorized scan of Georgia Secretary of State's computer networks. Who authorized the scans? Has the Department of Homeland Security conducted an unauthorized scan of any other states' systems? If so, which states? Did DHS scan without authorization? On December 12th, 2016, they said Secretary Jay Johnson responded to them. They said his response was unequivocal, that there was no scanning or security assessment of the Secretary of State's network by DHS cybersecurity experts. They said that he traced the activity back to a contractor that was at a law enforcement training center in Georgia who was engaged in verifying individuals' professional licenses. In other words, something completely different than looking at the State Board of Elections. But then they replied and said Secretary Johnson's one-page response and his staff's telephone conversations, where we tried to get follow-up information, did not provide adequate information to verify or validate any of those statements. And they also said that this was an interim response subject to change. So in December 8th, we first learned that Homeland Security hacked into the Georgia voter registration database. Then we have congressmen by January the 12th are not happy with the responses that they've gotten from Homeland Security, and they're calling for an independent investigation. So that was January the 13th. 1 month later, Reality Winner was hired in Georgia to work for a federal intelligence contractor, Pluribus International. On February the 21st, the Daily Caller reports that Obama feds had tried to hack Indiana's election system while Pence was governor. This was the Daily Caller, February 21st. Department of Homeland Security officials tried to hack Indiana's state electoral system with at least 14,800 scans or hits between November 1st and December 16th of 2016. The attacks are the second confirmed IT scanning assault by DHS officials against states that resisted then President Obama's attempt to increase federal involvement. This is key. Obama's attempt to increase federal involvement in state and local election systems by designating them as critical infrastructure for national security. Members of the National Association of Secretaries of State voted in just the weekend before this report in their winter meeting to oppose the designation. They asked President Donald Trump to overturn this intrusion into state electoral systems by the Obama federal administrators. They say the state's IT team traced the intruder to DHS's computer IP address. They tried 10 times with Georgia, but they tried nearly 15,000 times in Indiana. And then the Daily Caller points this out, and this is very key, folks. Federal officials are barred under DHS rules from trying to penetrate a state system without the express approval of the state. Neither Georgia nor Indiana gave such approval. They were not asked either. The federal government just did it illegally. They say governmental deployment of IT technology could be an evolving new tool against political opponents or to impose censorship. Let me say to you right now that what we have here is an effort by the government, the federal government, to cover up their attempts to get the surveillance state involved as political Watergate burglars, but using all the high-tech tools of the surveillance state. And I think what we're seeing here with Reality Winner might very well be an effort for them to go backwards and to backtrack. Let's go back to the timeline here. Again, February the 13th, she comes in there a month after the congressmen are saying, we're not happy with the verbal answers and responses that we've got from you. We want an independent counselor. 1 month later, this young girl is hired to work for a Georgia contractor, the same state where we saw the first intrusions. Then a week later, we see the Daily Caller say, hey, they tried to get after Indiana as well. And all of the secretaries of state say, we don't want you involved in our state boards of elections. Now, May 5th, we have, according to the document that came out, the charging document, they say that the NSA claims that they found cyber espionage against a U.S. company in August of last year. They did not discover that, they say, until April. So it went from August to April before they suddenly realized, after telling everybody there was never an attempt to electronically or cyber attack any of these election systems. And they say, oh, well, you know, it looks like that happened now. We just found out it happened in August somehow. And they report that in April. They prepare the document on May the 5th. May the 9th, Winner prints this. Somehow this appears on the desk of this young girl who is all over social media as being a Trump opponent, somebody who would immediately run to the press with something that says Russian cyber hacking. And immediately somehow she gets this document. Isn't that interesting? So on May the 9th, she prints it and she removes the classified intel. May 30th, The Intercept, that's the Glenn Greenwald's organization that ran this report, contacted the government to authorize the document and provide them with a copy. And, of course, Julian Assange is very angry about how they handled that. He has offered a $10,000 reward to anyone who will identify and get fired the journalist who exposed this whistleblower. But there's a big difference between Reality Winner and Ed Snowden. Snowden broke the law, but he broke the law to tell us how the government, the deep surveillance state, was breaking the law in a big way, bigly. Reality Winner broke the law as part of a political attack. And I think what we have here is not so much a smoking gun as it is an effort by the Department of Homeland Security to justify the taking over of the state boards of elections. That's one aspect of this. Because, of course, the Obama administration had tried, as I just reported. They said we wanted to declare it as critical infrastructure, and we need to be able to do this, but they don't have any justification for that, and they've had a lot of pushback from the state boards of elections. So what do? Well, after the fact, they realize, oh, we never realized it, but now we've just discovered that the Russians tried to get in and get voter IDs. Why would the Russians want it? I don't know. Why would the Democrats want it? Oh, that's a lot more likely, isn't it? They have a lot more motivation to get that than the Russians do, quite frankly. But I think they also have something else going on here. They want to hide their involvement in committing federal crimes. And as I've reported before, and as we've seen the documents that's been reported by Circa, Drudge Report reported on it as well, it is the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, the the FISA court, that came out with a court decision saying that the Obama administration violated the law, violated the Constitution, and spied on political opponents. Rand Paul said, this is the biggest story, and it is the biggest story. This is the biggest story. The fact that we now have all these 17 intelligence agencies that are spying on us 24/7, 365, they have now turned into a political organization. That should be very clear for you. Well, that's it for today. We don't have any more time for this, but we will have more reports on this. Thank you for joining us on the InfoWars Nightly News. Join us again tomorrow at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm David Knight.
I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality Infowars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different probiotic strains that are known to support digestion and intestinal function. Our researchers are confident that we have been able to develop what will be the leading probiotic on the market. Secure your Biome Defense in ultra strength or regular strength at InfoWarsLife.com today and get started supporting your digestive system naturally. We've been testing this formula for years, but this is the limited first run to the public, so please take advantage of it today. Support your own health and support the InfoWar.
Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. It's Tuesday, June 6th, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Here's what's on the news.